Hi, and welcome to the third part of series How to Make a Programming Language. And today we are going to add strings and hexadecimal values into our language. First, let's get rid of those unnecessary arrays because the first character over here is an empty string, which represents that we have any space character that we don't really care about. So let's map through them and return only the first item. And now we can see our results more clearly. So what can a string be? Let's open up an array because we want to include double quoted strings and multi-line string template literals. So we will match anything in between double quotes. Let's immediately open escape group, and we are not going to consider any Unicode characters or anything else and anything unnecessary for now. If necessary, we will change them later. So we want to include any escaped double quotes, or we want to see any we do not want to see any not escaped quotes, double quotes, or any not escaped backslashes. And to make sure, we add star over here so everything will work. Let's check that out. Okay, probably I'm missing something over here. Give me just a quick second. I will try to figure out what. Okay, let's open up the console and unexpected string token. Yeah, it understands that it's a string token, but we actually didn't add the strings over here. Okay, let's copy this one. Let's change it to string. This one to string. And we need to remove also the plus sign from in front of it. And in our values, we also add string, which returns the ID of the element. Here you go. Now we have the input inside of double quotes, which means that it also considers the double quotes that we wrote by ourselves. So let's change the value, accept an argument x, and let's slice it from the first character to the character before the last one. And now we have very clear result. Yeah, everything works. Now let's copy the same thing into our array, and we will have every double quote replaced by a single quote. And let's check this out. Yeah, it automatically turns our single quote to double quote character. And let's do the same thing for template literals to have multi-line strings in our language. And also over here, we enable multi-lines, line breaks, true. What does this do? It allows us to write multi-line strings, and as you can see, it actually turns any white space to a single space, even new lines. For that, we will need to change this a little bit. Let's wrap it up into parentheses and JSON stringify x. Let me remove those. Okay, now it also keeps this sign over here. Let's remove it as well. So instead of going from the first, we are going to go from the second, and it immediately changes the new line character to an escaped representation of new line character \n. And also here we all want to see N, R, and T as well. Those are new lines, tabulations, tab, and R is usually before N to show it on the screen. And now our multi-line strings are ready as well. Okay, now we can go ahead and create hexadecimal values. What can a hex be? Let's create an escape group immediately, because we will need to check, and we'll need to check if a hexadecimal value contains 3 characters or 6. And at the beginning, let's add a hashtag, and we will need to have from capital letter A to small letter Z, and from 0 to 9. And this will be 3 characters long or 6 characters long. Let's check it out, and let's add one more thing over here. It needs to be until the end of the input. So we don't have 0 and then one more 0 over here, and it thinks that this is hexadecimal and this is a simple number. Let's remove this. Now we need to add it at the end of our input as a new literal, and we need to also enable it in our values. Here you go. Now if we try to write with 4, it's not gonna work, but if we write with 6, it works just fine. Now the last thing that I want to do today is to enable comments and string concatenations. What can a comment be? A comment can be anything like this, because in JavaScript it works perfectly, and we will just have single line comments for now. We need to escape our slash character, and after that we'll put dot, because dot represents any character, and star. So let's add it to our parser. And what we can do, we don't actually want to consider any comment as part of the program as unnecessary white space. So we can do over here space comment any amount of space and comments, and at the end another space. And this should do the trick. Let's check out the theory. Okay, well, yeah, everything works. Now we have comments in our language, and we can basically write it anywhere anywhere where our program allows it, and we are missing our comments at the end of the input. Why? I'm not really sure, but it's not necessary for now. We will change it later. The last thing is concatenation. How we are going to do that? We will add the plus sign over here, and we will use the plus to concatenate two strings. What will we do? String concat. Let's return the ID of this, and now we will create the concatenation on its own. Okay, we will take any string, any white space or any comment in between. Again, the plus, because we already enabled plus into our language, we can also write it as plus, but I think this is more clear. And then we will accept another string. What will this do is this will return us the value, and we will take the v0 value plus v4 value. This is the v0, and this one is going to be the v4. Okay, this is great. This works with two strings, though we will need to change it a little bit in order to be able to concatenate more than two strings, and we will do it by returning the instance of string concat, and we will add both of them to each other. So we'll get v0, not value, because the first one already returns the value, so we don't need to write it by hand, and plus v4 value. Let's close this up and let's check it out. We can remove it now for now, and let's do hello plus white space and plus world. We can go ahead and even plus a template literal, and as you can see, it just works fine. So I think it's all for today, and we will see you in the next video. And in the next one, we are going to create arrays which will be able to accept hexadecimal values, strings, numbers, booleans, and null. Thank you for watching, and consider to subscribe to the channel to see more of this content. Thanks.